Yeah, we got those tropical notes. I've been studying sur for over a decade and searching for the perfect pairings. Now, this is one of my favorites. My name is Dustin Wessa. I'm a traditional Korean alcohol sommelier, and this is my place. One of my hobbies is foraging. I was up in the mountain and I was searching for wild ingredients, and there's this dodok, so I dug some up. Dodok is really earthy. It's savory. There's a lot of complexity there, but it has a bit of bitterness. In order to get rid of this, you're going to salt water for about 10 minutes. So that's going to remove a bit of the bitterness. It's going to season it just a tad, and it's going to make it easier to flatten out when you take the side of your knife and tuk 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 tap it down or roll it out. First time I tried it, obviously, I had this professional harmony or ajima make it for me, and that's when I fell in love with it. Then I decided I need to learn how to do this. The marinade is going to be a touch of soy sauce, garlic, gochujang, maybe some honey, a touch of crushed sesame seeds, maybe a quick twist of pepper, just After I flatten out the dodok, I'm going to take a little bit of sesame oil and just a touch of soy sauce. I like to use gukkanjang. Hwangtae is a version of myeongtae. This is an Alaskan pollock, and there's a ton of different words for this fish depending on how you prepare it. You have myeongtae, if it's fresh it's sengtae, godari, nogari, jaktae, chuntae, chutae, but the king is hwangtae. Why? Because in the beginning of winter, you hang it up. Now, it freezes, it thaws out, it freezes, it thaws out. It's this slow process that makes that perfect texture. So you're going to want to rinse that off. It's going to reconstitute it so it has a beautiful kind of spriggy-like texture to it. It's like boom, 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 just kind of bouncy when you bite down on it. When I do hwangtae, there's no gochujang in it. We got a little bit of soy sauce, sesame oil. I would use salya, and instead of scallions, I like to use dalle. Then it's a little bit more aromatic. I totally forgot. 고춧가루 얘기 안 했어요. It's gotta be spicy. 땡초 고춧가루 꼭 들어가야 돼요. 쑥을 펴야 되죠. Put it in between, sandwich it in between, what do we call the seoksoe thing in English? I don't know. Take a little bit of the yangyang and then just brush it over the top just like that. Put the marinated side straight over the top of the charcoal, as hot as it can get, and just get it nice and sizzling so it's caramelizing. When you're cooking the hwangtae and dodok over the charcoal, and it lets out this beautiful aroma, it's just savory, smoky, you got the sweetness and then the aromatics of the wild chives. It's intoxicating. Absolutely beautiful. Pop one of each in your mouth. You got this budaduk, budaduk, jongduk, jongduk of the dodok, and you got this kind of 꼬들꼬들한 식감. Now, you're not just gonna sit there and eat this, right? What do we need? We need something to drink on, something to sip on. The perfect thing here is gonna be a makgeolli. Yeah, we got those tropical notes, some bright acidity that's going to cut through some of the stronger flavors in the hwangtae and the dodok, harmonize on their intense level, and just kind of ride it out.
환영합니다. Welcome to K-Culture Dive, where we dive deeper into the heart of Korean culture with K-entertainment issues, AI culture news, and our K-sports segment today. And I'm your host, Kwon So-wa. Let's dive in. Joining us this Tuesday is my co-host Bella Kim. Hello, Bella.
Hi, Soa. And hello to everyone joining us today on K-Culture Dive. I'm Bella, back again to co-host and fill you guys all in with some exciting K-entertainment news.
All right, let's kick off with K-Enter News, Bella. So we start with a Korean film that has been doing amazing, and I have to say, even better than I thought.
Oh, yes.
So which one are we talking about?
We are talking about The King's Warden, or 왕과 사는 남자 in Korean. It surpassed 9 million moviegoers in just 27 days after its release, emerging as one of the strongest box office hits in recent years. According to the Korean Film Council, the film saw a sharp rise in attendance over the Lunar New Year holiday and last weekend through strong word of mouth. The King's Warden, set in the Joseon Dynasty in 1457, tells a story of a young king who is sent into exile and the villagers surrounding him. Its powerful narrative, a compelling performance, and solid direction have resonated widely with audiences. While the film opened with a relatively modest start, positive reviews quickly circulated, attracting audiences of all ages and pushing the movie into a long-term box office run. After crossing the 8 million mark, the film gained momentum, now at 9.2 million viewers the last time I checked before the show today. So it's quickly closing in on that 10 million milestone. And with the rapid growth in numbers, the film could reach this 10 million admissions as early as this week, which would make it the first Korean blockbuster to achieve the feat since Exhuma in 2024. So let the countdown begin until it hits that 10 million mark.
Well, I actually thought after the Lunar New Year holidays that the number would maybe not rise as fast as before, but it looks like we might really achieve that 10 million mark. So keep us updated when we hit that point, Bella.
Will do.
And now let's move on to an animated movie that's added another top achievement in the US. So which one are we going to talk about now?
Of course, we have to talk about the K-pop Demon Hunters Netflix animation. It won awards for Outstanding Producer of Animated Theatrical Motion Pictures at this year's Producers Guild of America PGA Awards. The PGA Awards are considered one of Hollywood's most prestigious honor for producers, recognizing excellence in planning, creativity, and overall production quality. And what's very notable is that winners in the animation category at PGA are seen as strong indicators for the Oscars. The K-pop Demon Hunters stands out for its unique blend of K-pop idol culture and supernatural action fantasy. With electrifying music, stylish action sequence, and themes rooted in Korean storytelling, the film has earned praise from global audiences. Previously, the original soundtrack from the film, Golden, also got a lot of attention at major music awards, highlighting the popularity of the film.
And staying with big achievements, we've got another huge one by a K-pop artist.
Blackpink Rosé has made history on the global music stage. At the Brit Awards held last weekend in Manchester, Rosé won International Song of the Year, becoming the very first Korean artist ever to take home a Brit Awards trophy. She earned the honor with 아파트, her hit song collaboration with Bruno Mars. After receiving the award, Rosé said that it's an honor to be recognized among so many talented musicians and thanked her Blackpink members and Bruno Mars and also production team for their support. 아파트, released back in 2024, has enjoyed massive global success, charting on the Billboard Hot 100 for 45 consecutive weeks, peaking at as high as number 3 and also reaching number 2 on the UK official singles chart. While several K-pop artists have previously received Brit Awards nominations, this marks the very first ever win, making the moment even more significant. The Brit Awards, hosted by the British phonographic industry, are considered the UK's most prestigious music honors.
Wow, first Brit Awards trophy. Very meaningful, not only for Rosé, but really for the K-pop industry as a whole.
Definitely.
Well, thank you very much, Bella, for those updates, and don't go anywhere.
Yes, I'll stick around.
And now time to go over to our AI anchor Arirang for more on the culture front. Arirang, over to you.
Thanks, Sua. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. First Lady Kim Hye-kyung held a meeting with Singapore's First Lady Jane Yumiko Itogi on Monday, on the sidelines of President Lee Jae-myung's state visit to Singapore. The two viewed exhibitions together at Timingung Artists in Residence, a non-profit arts charity and residency, and shared views on the culture and arts of both nations. The First Ladies exchanged opinions on the creativity and dynamism of Korean art, specifically mentioning world-renowned figures such as the late video artist Baek Nam-jun, pianist Cho Sung-jin, and BTS. Itogi noted that Singaporeans maintain a high interest in Korea across various sectors, including food, cosmetics, and dramas. Kim responded by noting that Singapore is a beloved travel destination for the Korean people. As the influence of the Korean wave expands, South Korea's content industry exports have reached an all-time high. According to a recent survey by the Culture Ministry, content industry exports in 2024 totaled over $14 billion, a more than 5% from 2023. The growth was led by the gaming industry, which posted more than $13 billion, accounting for over 60% of total content exports. The music industry followed with $1.8 billion, while the broadcasting and video sector recorded nearly $1.3 billion. The ministry vowed to strengthen support to position the K-content sector as a core engine of the Korean economy. Gyeongbokgung Palace and the National Palace Museum of Korea will be closed on March 21st, when BTS is set to stage a highly anticipated comeback performance at Gwanghwamun Square. The Korea Heritage Service said the event will provide an opportunity to showcase the identity of Korean culture to a global audience, adding that it is drawing up a comprehensive safety management plan. Authorities and police will conduct intensive safety inspections starting 1 week ahead of the concert, and an emergency response team will be deployed on the day to oversee safety at major national heritage sites in the surrounding area. That's all from me. Turning now to a quick look at more K-culture stories making headlines today.
A museum in the shanty towns in Korean referred to as 달동네 of Incheon has had 2 years of extensive renovations completed and has officially reopened its doors. It is attempting to preserve the history and memories of the portside neighborhood that over time has disappeared. Ian-jin tells us more.
The Songyondong and Songnimdong neighborhoods were once representative shantytowns in Incheon. AI imagery has been used to recreate what their village looked like as it formed on Sudoguksan Hill with the opening of Incheon Port and as it weathered the Korean War. This neighborhood, whose name means Waterworks Bureau in Korean, was the source of Incheon's tap water. The Sudoguksan Moon Village Museum features a recreation of the village as it appeared in 1971, a time when its population peaked with 3,000 households living in close proximity. Exhibits also include meticulously detailed replicas from businesses from that era, such as a cotton spinning shop run by refugees from Unyul, Hwanghae Province, a region then famous for cotton, as well as a barber shop and a coal briquette shop.
It makes me realize, wow, people actually lived in places like this back then.
If I had lived there, I think I would have struggled as much as my grandmother did.
The museum, now located in what is a modern apartment complex, has reopened its doors after the completion of a 2-year expansion project.
We have significantly increased the number of exhibition halls and space for children's experiential learning programs. With the addition of underground parking and other such facilities, the museum has been reborn as a cultural space for families.
Called the Sudoguksan Museum of Housing and Living before renovations, the museum now features a donations gallery composed entirely of items brought in by local residents, as well as a new children's exhibition hall. There is also a chronological display of household appliances, including TVs, radios, and sewing machines that were actually used in homes.
The household appliances are sectioned chronologically from the opening of the port through the 1990s. We created this space to show the daily lives and stories of families during that period.
With its new name, the Sudoguksan Moon Village Museum, the museum opened its doors to the general public on March 1st. 이은진, Arirang News. Time now to dive into the world of K-Sports. And for that, we've got our sportscaster, Jason Lee, in the studio. Welcome back, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, Jason, it feels like yesterday that we've been talking about the Winter Games, but they already wrapped up. We're in March. And now we're going to talk about the World Baseball Classic, which starts in 2 days.
Yeah.
But what else are you going to cover today?
Yeah, absolutely. The World Baseball Classic coming up really quick. But yeah, I'm going to have some updates on what's going on with Team Korea and how they're looking going into the tournament. Also, Song Sung-moon might not be with Korea's national team right now, but he is in action with his new team, the San Diego Padres, and a black eye for the Lotte Giants as they prepare for the upcoming KBO season. Details on that. And also, the KFA announced their Player of the Year for last year, and it wasn't Son Heung-min. I'll tell you who it actually was.
Can't wait for that. But let's start with a big sports event. We do talk about, we have a big sports event after the other. After the Winter Games now, we're going to have the World Baseball Classic. So some updates on Korea's team. I think they're going to first play against the Czech Republic, right?
That's right. Thursday night, they play the Czech Republic. That's coming up really, really quick. Korea's actually playing right now, as we speak, against the Oryx Buffaloes of Japan. They are winning the game 7-3 in the 6th inning right now. And my understanding is that Kim Do-young actually just hit a home run, his second in 2 games. So it's great to see Kim Do-young with a red-hot bat. He, of course, hit a solo home run yesterday when Korea tied the Hanshin Tigers 3-3. So prior to that, they were actually 4-1 against KBO teams as well. So the national team, they're looking good. Kim Do-young is looking good. An Hyun-min, Lee Jung-hoo, everyone seems to be red hot and ready to go. So hopefully they keep the momentum going Thursday night against the Czech Republic.
So right now they're in the exhibition game, and the first official game starts on Thursday.
Yes, correct.
All right, okay.
Very exciting. And I do understand that some Korean MLB players have joined for the match that you just mentioned, the 3-3 tie against Hanshin. So what has kind of changed after they kind of joined the team?
Yeah, that's right. 6 I guess, current MLB players have now joined the national team in Japan. And this does actually add quite a bit. I mean, just from a leadership standpoint, Lee Jung-hoo is the team's captain. So, okay, having his presence there, especially for the younger players, it adds a different element from a leadership standpoint. Also, from a talent level, I mean, okay, you're basically adding 6 of the best players on the team, not just Lee Jung-woo, Kim Hae-sung, and Ko Woo-suk, the Koreans who used to play in the KBO, but they're also adding significant biracial Koreans in Jemai Jones, Dane Dunning, and Shea Whitcomb. And by the way, my understanding is that Shea Whitcomb also just hit a home run today. Dane Dunning, he pitched 3 scoreless innings for Team Korea in the game today. So these guys are all contributing immediately. Unfortunately, Riley O'Brien, who probably would have been the team's closer, is not joining the team because of an injury. That is definitely going to be a big blow when it comes to tighter games late in the inning. We got to hope that they avoid those altogether, or perhaps Ko Woo-suk can go in and take over that role, perhaps. But certainly that is going to be a big loss to Team Korea. They've also lost Won Tae-in to injury as well. So we'll have to see how the pitching holds up.
It's unfortunate that we lost the 2 players, but excited to see the rest of the players kind of join the team. And it sounds like they're doing great, so very excited for their official first match. And speaking of the first match, it's this Thursday, as you mentioned, against Czech Republic. So please tell us about Czech Republic team, like how they're doing. We got to know the opponents before we get into the game, right?
Yeah, this is their second time being in the World Baseball Classic. They just kind of snuck in 3 years ago. And honestly, this is a team that Korea shouldn't have much trouble with. I mean, if you look at their roster, they don't have any recognizable names from Major League Baseball. They're ranked 15th in the world right now compared to Korea being ranked 4th. And hey, Korea beat them twice in exhibition games last November, 3-0 as well as 11-1. And that was before Korea added all of their MLB players recently. So I don't mean any disrespect to the Czech Republic by any means, but Korea should be the clear favorites going into this game. And I think their strategy, to be honest, should be to save their best arms for their next game, which is going to be against Japan. Of course, they also play Australia as well as Chinese Taipei. So I think it's going to be better to save their best pitchers and players for those particular games and, maybe sub in against the Czech if necessary. But it's basically their easiest game comes first, and then their most difficult game will be the next game against Japan.
Right. I don't know if this is true, but is it more easy to predict games when it comes to baseball than with other sports categories? I kind of feel like with some, like football, for instance, when we talk about rankings, I hear many sports experts saying, okay, but the rankings are not saying everything. So what about baseball?
I think with baseball, it's in particular who's pitching. Because one starting pitcher can literally shut down another team's offense completely. If you have the best pitcher in baseball and he's on the mound throwing 5, 6, 7 scoreless innings, then it's going to be really difficult for the other team to win. So one player can really make a big difference out there. And Korea's got some top pitchers certainly available. So we'll see how they do. But once again, I think it would be wise to save those arms, not against the Czech Republic, but probably for Japan, Australia, and Chinese Taipei in particular. But we'll see, what they do for strategy. And my guess is that they'll probably be doing something along those lines.
All right, Dan, staying with baseball, you mentioned Jason's Hong Sung-moon is not with the national team because he's trying to cement himself a role with his new team, the Padres. So how has he been doing?
That's right. He had an injury in the offseason, and originally he was going to play on the national team, but I think he realized that because of the injury, he needed to make sure that he made a really good impact and a good impression on the San Diego Padres. So instead of coming back to Asia to play in the Baseball Classic, he's staying in spring training with the Padres right now. And so far, he's got 3 hits in 14 at-bats. It's still early, so he's got plenty of time to improve on those numbers and adjust to major league velocity when it comes to batting. And I think for the time being, He's doing okay, but he's definitely got a little bit of catching up to do. He's got an opportunity to win their second base job or perhaps a super utility role compared to guys like Samad Taylor and Jose Miranda, who have got they're putting up some decent numbers right now in spring training. So I think Song Sung-moon's got a little bit of catching up to do. But as mentioned, he's still got a few weeks to make an impression, and I think he definitely has the ability to do that. But he is going to have to hit a little bit better over these next couple of weeks.
We'll look forward to his plays as well. And now you've mentioned earlier that there is a black eye for Lotte Giants team. So
yes.
Please fill us in with what's going on with them.
This is unfortunate, and this is certainly not the first time that this has happened. This has happened a few times. So late winter, all KBO teams travel to the south, somewhere in Southeast Asia usually, or to begin their training camp. And a lot of places that they go to in warmer climates, they have casinos. And it is illegal for all Koreans to gamble even when they are abroad. And 4 members of the Lotte Giants were caught gambling. Now, this has resulted in a 50-game suspension for Kim Dong-hyuk and 30-game suspensions for Go Seung-min, Kim Se-min, and Na Seung-yup. This is certainly very disappointing for these players. They should have known better, and they're receiving very harsh penalties. And on top of those punishments handed down by the KBO, the Lotte Giants themselves have also announced punishments to their CEO and general manager, among others, holding responsibility for the lack of control of their players. Now, you know that it's one thing for a top team to have players that go out and have some fun, perhaps, and get caught for it. But the Lotte Giants have made the postseason once in the last 13 years. This is a team that has struggled, that have not been synonymous with winning as of late. So it is going to be very frustrating to their fans, and now it's going to be even more difficult for the team to succeed, missing 4 important players for over a month now. So again, the players, they should have known better. The league was very deliberate, immediately said, nope, we are going to suspend you. So the fact that they're holding these players accountable, it's good to see, but certainly from a team standpoint, very disappointing.
Very disappointing, very unfortunate. And as you mentioned, this is not unprecedented. We had that with other members of other teams as well. So let's really hope that this does not repeat itself.
And hopefully it sets a good example for the future so that when other players see this, then they see, okay, I definitely should not do this because I know that I will be punished. So hopefully this will be set as an example so this doesn't happen in the future.
Let's really do hope so. And let's move on to brighter news, bright especially for one player.
Yes.
We're going to move on to football. And you said that Korea's Footballer of the Year really is not Son Heung-min. Who is it?
Yeah, I mean, crazy, right? Son Heung-min, I mean, let's just get to the fact that he also did have a great year. Remember, Son Heung-min led Tottenham to the Europa Cup, their first ever trophy with him as a member of the team. He also led LAFC to the semifinals of the MLS Cup. So certainly a great season for him, but he was topped by the performance of Lee Gang-in in the eyes of voters. Not by much, though. Lee Gang-in got 31.4 points compared to Son Heung-min's 29.2. So a 2.2-point difference helped Lee Gang-in win Footballer of the Year among Koreans as he helped Paris Saint-Germain to a trifecta of titles in 2025 as PSG won the French Ligue 1 title, their cup title, as well as the UEFA Champions League. I mean, how can you top that, right? Of course, Lee Gang-in actually didn't play in the championship game or the semifinal leading up to it, but certainly he had a great season to help PSG get there, and obviously had great contributions to the national team. Many times I recall last year being here talking about his great long passes that seemed to set up goals regularly for his team as well as Team Korea. So great season for Lee Gang-in. And this is his first time ever winning this award as Football of the Year among Koreans, while Son Heung-min has won it 7 times, but not this time.
Well, good job to Lee Gang-in. And to Son Heung-min, I mean, his number is number 7, so maybe it's better to have that for another year or...
Perhaps. We'll see how it goes.
Trying to see it on the positive side for Son.
I guess Lee Gang-in wins, he wears number 18, so maybe he's got a lot more football to play. Yeah, wins 17 more times for him.
maybe. Okay. Well, on that note, thank you very much, Jason, for those updates. Can't wait for next time.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank you, Bella, as always. We're going to have you back here later in the week.
Yes, I'll see you back soon.
Thanks for watching and your interest in everything K-culture. Please tune in again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Korea time. Keep diving.
How to survive in Korea. One room. So, you're surviving in Korea? If you've signed a contract for a one room, obviously you're a pro. But the real deal begins now. Step 1. Housewarming. No need to buy toilet paper, diffusers or hand soap. You'll get them soon enough as housewarming gifts. And some are bound to pile up. There's nothing better to serve your guests than milpaeyu nabe. If you have Korean friends coming over, don't forget